News came out this week that Miami pretty much offered the house for Deshaun Watson. Obviously, Deshaun hasn't played a single game this season because of the sexual assault allegations that are kind of over hovering over his head right now. But the Dolphins offered 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks for the disgruntled quarterback, and obviously this all with the condition that Deshaun Watson clears those assault cases. And the Texans declined this offer. Um, I guess the mindset being that he would be worth more once he's cleared. But Brandon, I want to come to you here first. Did the Texans overplay their hand with this situation?
Yeah, they definitely did. First off, things happen so quickly in the NFL. If we could hopefully someday get a daily show going, we might actually be able to cover news in a timely manner. But this happened probably hours after we recorded last week's pod, and we had to wait a week to talk about it. Um, but they definitely overplayed their hand. I don't know who leaked this, but this was the last bargaining chip they had at the negotiation table. Um, if you think about all the things they would have needed in their favor for a negotiation to go well, like not knowing what other teams are offering, um, the news that the quarterback doesn't want to be there, they don't have anything else because all of their dirty laundry seems to get aired one way or another. So they don't have any cards to negotiate with. They don't have anything because it's all public information. So, I mean, the breaking news from Jay Glazer was that they think they could get a better offer than 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. I'm surprised that offer was even presented. I don't think they're going to get a better offer. The other part of that is Deshaun has to okay the move. Like, they can't just take the highest bidder. Because he has a no trade clause, they have to get his permission for the trade to even go through. And as it stands right now, according to most reporters or most analysts, that Miami is the only place he wants to go for the time being. So I don't know what they're going to offer, but I know Miami's not going to go back to the negotiating table later on with more of an offer. They're going to come back with less. So I don't know what they think they're going to get, but this was the best.
Yeah, this was 3 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders. That's quite the haul. Jin, as a betting man, do you think the Texans are right in betting on themselves with this one?
No, I think the Texans made a huge mistake here by getting cold feet because come next off season, he's not going to be worth more than a two first round picks moving forward. Especially now the league knows that the Texans are being greedy. Everybody's not going to try to offer him up. Even I don't think even Miami's going to try to do anything, and they're just going to watch the Texans burn up their cap for the next 5 years because next year is when Deshaun's extension kicks in. At that point, the Texans will be glad to get anything for him just to get rid of the cap space that they're going to have to need for their new team. So overall, I think the Texans are. I don't know what the Texans are thinking. Like at this point, like it makes no sense. Like like you essentially you're getting 5 starters for Deshaun Watson. Going back, that seems like a really good deal. With the player that you don't want on your team that doesn't want to play for you, but it just seems like the Texans just never wants to let him go for whatever odd reason it might be. But overall, I think the Texans made a huge mistake here not trading him before the trade deadline because moving forward next season, he's not going to be worth essentially anything, and people are just going to laugh at the Texans, and they're going to try to get rid of him for like a 5th-round pick just to get rid of that cap space.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll fall as low as a 5th-round pick, but by the time this gets resolved, if it gets resolved, he's going to be at least 1 year removed from the NFL. That'll bring his value down. I also think this might be a crazy thought, but the idea that Patrick Mahomes isn't doing this well right now, if that continues, that could work against the Texans also, because they were drafted in the same year. And if Mahomes goes on the down because everybody figured him out, maybe that's the case with a lot of the quarterbacks. They get figured out. They don't play at the performance that they once did earlier on. Deshaun was a top QB a year removed from football, and now maybe he's going to come back with the same trajectory where he doesn't play as well. So I don't think the value of a player doesn't go up as they get older. So I don't know why they would ever get more, especially if he's not playing. It would be different if he was James Hardening the situation and playing through it and showing everybody that he can still ball, but that's not what's happening.
Yeah, and I think it might just be another situation with Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. You know, they were at the height of their careers, and then all of a sudden everything came down crashing. Both of them gets traded. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, the Chiefs is going to trade Patrick Mahomes because that would be, you know, the franchise suicide at that point. But it kind of gives, you know, the same vibe that, you know, in that same draft class, you know, two QBs are, you know, not performing well on the lower trajectory, and don't know what the Texans is going to do. Hopefully they can figure it out, because at this point they are the laughing stock of the NFL.
I was trying to give him some justice by not comparing him to Jared Goff and Carson Wentz, and comparing him to Mahomes as he's sort of in that echelon. I think it's hard to compare a guy like Deshaun Watson, who may have been a 4-win team last year, but also was potentially in the MVP conversation for the stats he put up. I think it's a bit different than the Jared Goff, Carson Wentz situation. It seems like it's more like the Patrick Mahomes situation, where he was so good so early in his career, but now we're seeing someone who was better in the early part of their career also sort of come down. So I wonder if that's something that other teams will consider as part of when they're offering, or if they offer whoever's in the market for a quarterback next year.